Third stimulus check and third stimulus package, an expression I coined on this channel to describe and refer to the Biden stimulus coming in January. In fact, minutes ago, Joe Biden spoke about his third stimulus package. So what's in there? It includes multiple stimulus check, FPUC, the $24 of SSI and SSDI hazard pay, and a lot more. In this video, I'm going to go over what will be in third stimulus check and third stimulus package, how the deal provisions will work out, how soon you'll get the money, and how they'll be quite different from what you see in the second stimulus package passed today and yesterday. It's interesting to unfold and look at the contrast and see how they mirror one another and how they actually conflict in some cases as well. But in this new hit show, Third Stimulus Check and Third Stimulus Package, I go over all the exciting details. There's big money for you, and guess what? There's another Purple Power push ready to go because you need to ensure that Joe Biden concludes everything you need and everything else that you need as well in the Third Stimulus Check and Third Stimulus Package. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is the new hit show on Afternoons at LALATE, Third Stimulus Check and Third Stimulus Package, to refer to the Biden stimulus package coming in January. A lot of things in there. And if there's ever time to subscribe, it's now, because just because Congress passed a second stimulus package yesterday does not mean that we are done. We are just getting started, darling, because we are ready for the third stimulus check and third stimulus package. This is the one that really matters. This is the big one. And it will not be potentially the final stimulus package at all. So please subscribe. Go to the Funds channel, subscribe, and make sure you hit the alert button so you do not miss a video when I go live. I go live right after this on Purple Power Live. Also, like this video. It also helps in the algorithm rankings. In this video, I'm going to go over all the details, how they unfold, and what Joe Biden said today about your third stimulus check and third stimulus package. I'll go over routing times, the deal provisions, the drafting, the time of when you can see everything hit, and more. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news that Joe Biden spoke just minutes ago about third stimulus check and third stimulus package. Third stimulus check and third stimulus package refers to Biden stimulus coming in January. How does it work and how will it formulate? It will formulate the following way. Nancy Pelosi will start drafting it now and have it ready to introduce to the Senate and the House for vote in the weekdays right before or around Inauguration Day, so that when it passes Congress, it will land on the president's table the very first day he is in office. You would presume that Nancy Pelosi writes it earlier rather than later. Yesterday's second stimulus package was 5,000 pages. So you presume she doesn't wait to the last second. With that, the Purple Powers push is starting right up again. We're starting to push and make sure the narrative includes the right amounts, the right deal provisions, and more. And I have already tweeted out images already with the hashtag third stimulus package or third stimulus check to make sure you start tagging the people, Biden transition team, Biden, and everyone else like Harris to ensure that the right items are in there as well. Let's go over those items. First, multiple stimulus checks, hashtag MSC. Joe Biden said that you will get stimulus checks with him and that the stimulus checks will be more robust than the second stimulus package passed yesterday. He said those remarks in an afternoon interview today. So how big are the stimulus checks? When asked about it, he refused to answer. In fact, he did not bring up the stimulus checks in his prepared speech. He brought them up after being asked by a reporter about the stimulus checks. And then when asked how much, how frequently, he said, I'm not going to answer that. That's open for negotiations. Well, what are you going to propose, Joe? Why can't you give us a number? It's that type of hiding the bacon again. I love some bacon. Give me some bacon. That is making viewers already antsy, and we've just started. Harris's bill, of course, with Sanders and Markey was $2,000 a month every month for 6 months until the pandemic ends, which is at least June, until unemployment goes down or the pandemic goes away, whichever happens first. Neither event is going to happen before June. So that is times 2, that's $12,000. The question is whether Joe Biden will be at a stimulus check of $2,000 or $1,200. Will we include adult dependents, which were excluded this time around? Will we include the eligibility to be broader? All accounts suggest that eligibility will be broader. Democrats always want broader coverage, including U.S. residents, not just U.S. citizens. That includes stimulus checks will go to people who have green cards, not just people who have Social Security numbers, and then go also to larger families, like family of 5 instead of just family of 4, which is this current bill. Also to adult dependents and people that may have been excluded before. Meantime, there's also been provisions that involve situations where someone is a U.S. citizen, but the spouse is not. It would include those type of fix-ups as well. The stimulus check amount, I believe it's going to be about $2,000. I don't think it's going to be $1,200. I just think $1,200 has been a joke. But that's where you are. How soon would you see this stimulus check in your hand? This third stimulus pack check. By all accounts, you would likely see it somewhere late January or early February. It takes about 10 days for it to become law. I anticipate that the negotiations over this bill, if they wait to introduce it on his first day in office, would take about 2 weeks. If they introduce it beforehand, we could get a head start on this. I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll see in a few weeks. That would be the routing time for that. What's the next item? SSI and SSDIs. Yes. So SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits and veterans benefits, you're going to be in the Biden stimulus. I had someone on the comments on Facebook say, you don't mention that anymore. I mention it every single 10 seconds I can. I just got to make it very clear to you, it's in Biden's stimulus, in third stimulus. I also had a viewer say, wait a second, you said it's going to start paying in January. I said it's going to start effective in January, but may not land in your bank account until it will start effective in January, but may not land in your bank account until February. Let me explain what's going on with that one. Before I get to the deal provisions, the timing is really critical. Joe Biden doesn't come into office until late January. So by late January, you may have already received your benefits check. You may be past the day of the month in which you receive your January check. What's the third Thursday of the month or second Thursday of the month. You may be past that point. At that point, you wouldn't see the January add-on stimulus. You would see it in February, presumably with the January and the February both on the February check. So for example, the $200 a month every month until December of next year, that would mean $200 for January, $200 February. I don't think they'll get it to you in January. I don't think there's time. So you'll see $400 in February to take care of January, February. It's generally how Biden's proposing these things. All these things are how Biden's proposing them. Then I'm not the one writing the bill. I'm not the one promising you the stuff. I'm not the one, writing the checks. So if they don't do what they promise, don't come back and say, cut off the beautiful hair you have. I'm just telling you what they're saying they're going to do. $2,400, $200 a month from January to December of next year, plus a 20% lifetime increase. What month would that effectuate? I would assume it would be the first month after it becomes law. I mean, where else would it occur? It doesn't make sense anywhere else. So if it becomes law in January, then it becomes effective in February, is how I assume. So if you're getting about $1,000 a month, you may be raised about 20% up to $1,200 a month. Then the new benchmark. The new benchmark would be different than COLA and would raise your benefits annually based upon a new benchmark other than COLA. When does that take effect? Well, the next year. They reassess your benefits every year. You've already been assessed for this year, so this would be for next year. So somewhere at the end of next year, they'd say, okay, for 2022, your benefits will step up this way. And that is your SSI and SSDI. I think the first check would land in February, and it's automatic. It would go on top of your benefits. You don't have to apply for it. It's in addition to a stimulus check. It's very easy. It's all great. Then hazard pay. You see how there's so much stuff to cover there in stimulus. Hazard pay, $10,000 if you worked during the pandemic all the way up to the present and going forward 60 days after the pandemic ended. The Senate has to fall from the GOP to get $10,000. It's a big number. It's a big call. I don't see you getting $10,000. The Senate states GOP. It's too big. If the Senate falls, you're going to get hazard pay, essential workers. And then I'm going to have 1,000 videos about who gets this hazard pay and how do you eligible. When I was outside recording 2 months ago, I used to sit there with the hazard pay bill, the old version, and read over all the deal provisions of who's essential. You're essential, you're not essential. Mortuaries are essential. Car mechanics are not essential. I used to do that, and I anticipate I'll be doing it again in January. You do not apply for it at the moment. Yeah, I don't like that provision. Presumably, Joe fixes that, where you can apply for it. The way Nancy had it is the employer applies for it. $10,000, $13 an hour from January up to the present. I mean, there's so much I could say. I could run 10 more videos about it. What if I'm an independent contractor? What if I'm paid per gig? I'll cover all that for you when we get closer. Multiple stimulus checks, hazard pay, FPUC. There we go. I knew there's something juicy I want to talk about. FPUC retro. Oh, yeah. So $600 a week. Retroactive. God, if they could only just say that word and just say it together. Just stand on the Capitol Hill steps and say retroactive together. It would just feel so good. After weeks of no one wanting to say that word, Joe Biden's promising you FPC retroactive, $600 a week back to July and going forward. Now, I had a great person named Jay in the Instagram this morning say, I don't understand how this is going to work because they just did $300 a week going forward. So wait a second, how are they going to do this? The way they presumably do it is to pass a bill to revise the bill. So it's like, okay, thank you for that bill that you passed December 21st. We're going to change it. And it's not going to say $600 a week back and then forward. And it's say exactly how you want it to say. The question, of course, is then what happens to the Monday between when this bill was passed and when third stimulus is passed? Really confusing. I just anticipate that for maybe a week, they'll pay you $300 and then they'll suddenly say, oh, here's another $300. You're caught up. Okay, now we're on the $600. So just forget about that $300 we used to do. And states have done that before. It's not unusual for them to say, oh, we paid you a little bit more, so going to pay you. We're not $300, we're paying $600, so now they're going to pay you $600. FPUC 600 is really is a big push for Biden. He has said that number. He has not hid from the number. He has not said the retro 6 July in a while, so I just hope he starts saying it again. What else would you get? You would get rent. You would get eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, and student loan debt repayment. Those I need to explain. I think the student loan payment moratorium, the eviction moratorium, and the mortgage forbearance moratorium would all come by executive order on day one of the Biden administration, not any day later. Chuck Schumer has been pushing this. I think he's right. It shouldn't go through Congress. It doesn't involve any money. It has nothing to do with the Treasury. You just write it out. The president of the United States, Donald Trump, has done it before. Biden can do it. There's no dispute about it. You do not have you do not have mortgage forbearance or student loan debt repayment under the second stimulus package. A messy mistake, needs to be in there. What else? You're going to see everything else that you should anticipate. EIDL grant. God, there's so much to remember. The remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant, yes, that will be in third stimulus. Also, those people who never got the EIDL grant but got their application on time and the funds ran out, you'll get the $10,000. And the people who got the EIDL loan when there was no EIDL grant, like the people the last few months, you would get the $10,000 grant. So is believed the Biden administration. So a lot of stuff, there's a lot of stuff there. EIDL grant, PPP, there's going to be food, there's going to be more rent, easier rent, there's going to be student debt and mortgage and eviction and PPP and PUA and FPUC retro and SSI. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So please stay with me because this is going to be a very big push. The Purple Power needs to really do its thing because I know you got the holidays, but right after the holidays, it's going to be a massive push in early January. And I think they're starting to write the bill now. So if you're on social media, here's the campaign. Take the message in this channel. Share this video. Share the third stimulus check videos and tag everyone in the Biden administration. Say, do this and make it very loud and clear. And anytime, join me on Being a Mitch coming up next. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay LALATE for more.